Hello, everyone. We are the Vinyl Community Guncles here again, this time to talk about the tops and bottoms of 1970, musically speaking. Some of us will talk about albums, some of us singles, also talking about the events of 1970, the tops and bottoms of those, the best and the worst, all about the music of 1970 on this exciting episode of the Vinyl Community Guncles, starring Richard from Calvin Wazoo, Craig from Craig's Vinyl Plethora, Mike from Hub Tunes, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm Robert Fitton, and sometimes I just break into song. Just take those old records off the shelf. Jeffrey Epstein didn't hang himself.
What?
It's 1978.
Well, that's a twist.
Didn't see that coming.
I just heard that. I thought that was hilarious. Well, not really hilarious. Telling, I guess. More satirical than hilarious. I'm laughing on the inside.
Greg has
Richard
no
first.
idea what that means.
All right, 1970. I was 12 years old. Turned 12 years old. And there was a lot of music, coming out that year that just made a profound impact on my musical taste and where I was going to go with my eventual record collecting. There were also a lot of really weird things and events that happened that year. So starting off with those, as was mentioned, I've got bottoms for events because there was also some really bad stuff that happened in 1970. And I'm not even going to be able to cover all of that. But anyway, the year starts off January. Well, it didn't start off January 7th, but January 7th, Max Yasgur, his farm hosted Woodstock. Well, he got sued by his neighbors for property damage.
Oh.
Hell of a nice group of people. It was $35,000 they sued him for, which in 1970,
a lot of money.
$35,000 is, it's still a lot of money today, but that was a lot of money. Let's see, February 28th, I knew nothing about this, and I find this really interesting. Led Zeppelin was performing a concert in Copenhagen, but they performed under a pseudonym, the Knobs. And the reason was they were threatened by a lawsuit from the Count Eva von Zeppelin, who is a descendant of the airship designer Ferdinand von Zeppelin. And she didn't want to be associated with Led Zeppelin. So they performed under this pseudonym. Had no idea that happened. April 24th, Grace Slick, Jefferson Airplane, she was invited to a tea party at the White House by President Nixon's daughter, Tricia. Well, Slick goes to this party, and you know who she takes with her? Abby Hoffman. And they had a plan, conspiracy or whatever, that they were going to spike Nixon's teacup with a heavy dose of LSD. However, she got recognized. Slick got recognized by White House security, but not Hoffman. They didn't know who Hoffman was.
Really?
And they told her to leave because she was on the list.
Oh.
Then in let's see, June 3rd. It's kind of funny in a way. On June 3rd, Ray Davies or Davis or whatever of the Kinks, he makes this round trip. They're touring in the U.S. and he flies back to England and then flies back, for the tour. So this makes this enormous round trip from New York to London and back, interrupting the tour, all because he had to re-record one word in the song Lola. They wanted him to change it from Coca-Cola to Cherry Cola. I don't know why. It just
because the BBC is not allowed to play songs that have brand
endorsements.
Goes against their advertising policy.
Okay, then
he also had to
now
do pretty much the exact same thing a few years later with the song Ape Man. He had to go back in the studio.
It was the same year. He had to. It's one of my items later, back in November. He had to do the same thing for Ape Man because the air pollution is fogging up my eyes. It sounded like he was saying the air pollution was fucking up his eyes. So he had to change that. Yeah,
Right.
crazy. So that's twice in 1 year he had to fly back and forth during their tour to re-record like either one word or a different phrase. Back to the White House, the Guess Who performed at the White House in July 17th, 1970 for President Nixon. So apparently Nixon was the one who invited them, along with his guest, the Prince of Wales, who is now Charles III. This was at Pat Nixon's request. She said, "You're not supposed to play American Woman. Do not play American Woman," because of its anti-American lyrics. So apparently, I guess they honored that request.
Oh, really?
We're going to play that.
I should have played it.
Yeah, they should have. And let's see, in August, it didn't have a specific date that I could find, but there was this album released of whale songs by humpback whales. It was produced by this guy, Roger Payne. And it was really kind of the first time there was a commercial release of whale songs. And it became an unexpected best-selling record, selling more than 100,000 copies. And it was very influential in developing whale conservation ethos in the public.
It's in an episode of The Partridge Family, and then they sing with the whales.
Fascinating how it makes it into the pop culture like that.
Craig is plethora of knowledge.
It's Partridge Family.
And I watched The Partridge Family at that time, but I don't remember any of the episodes. Anyway, so records. I got 4 here to start off with that I am calling transformative live albums. Live albums that just, not only are they really good recordings in my opinion, but they just, I don't know, they have something about them that is, unique and transformative. And the first one is this live album by Hot Tuna.
By who?
Hot Tuna. Which has 2 members from Jefferson Airplane, Joma Karkonen and Jack Cassidy.
Jorma
Kaukonen. Okay. I don't know how to say his name. But yeah, this
great album.
It is. It's such an amazingly well recorded. And what I thought was really cool is that there's a part in here that is like, it shares something that the live album Rockin' the Fillmore, Humble Pie, there's that part where things are kind of quiet and somebody drops a beer bottle and you can hear it go clang. That happens in Rockin' the Fillmore, and it happens in this as well.
That also might be their best album, like overall.
Yeah, I would, yeah, because even Burgers is good, but it's very commercial.
Yeah.
But it's it's a lot more listenable than their other couple. They had other 2 albums, and they're kind of
hot something. Yeah.
Now this one, when it was first released, Live at Leeds, was just a single album. It was not the entire show. Subsequently, they have released. Now this one I have is just that single album, but they have released the entire show subsequently, so you get like their whole their entire performance of Tommy, in there. But it really is an amazing recording, and at the time it was hailed as probably one of the most I can't remember the exact words, but most astonishing, most important live recording, at that time. Now you can't mention 1970 without talking about the release.
But have 12 inserts.
With the Live at Leeds one, with the new one?
Yeah, Live at Leeds should have 12 inserts in it if you want the complete everything that comes with the original album.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
posters and contracts and
I
kind of
have it
stuff.
on CD, but I didn't get it on vinyl, and that's a nice package to have
Yeah.
with that. And of course, you can't mention 1970 without mentioning the Woodstock release of the Woodstock recording, this triple album, and because it really was a cultural phenomena that just was unlike anything experienced in the U.S. And of course, it led to other festivals, some just as successful, but others notoriously awful or bad or violent, such as Altamont. But there were a lot of other festivals that came after it. But like I said, many of them were really, really quite good. And to me, the best live album of the year, perhaps I don't know, of all time. I mean, it's just, this album is just so fucking good.
Absolutely.
For a single album. And also that's a long album for being on one record. There's not very much run out space on this. They really crammed in quite a bit of music on Get Your Yayas Out.
Have you heard the expanded version of that?
No, I have not.
It's online streaming. Check it out, especially the openers. It's like it's like I think it's like Muddy Waters and Ike and Tina.
Yeah,
I could believe that.
And Tina do a really sexual. Tina gets down and dirty.
Oh yeah,
I'll have to check that out because when I saw them in '78, they had Etta James open for them, and then they had Linda Ronstadt come out and sing "Tumbling Dice" with them.
Yeah, very cool.
That was in Tucson, so it made sense that Linda Ronstadt would come out.
My Get Your Yayas Out was extra long because I don't know if I told the story on here before, but I told it on my own channel about how when I first got it when I was a teenager, I was doing homework while listening to it, and Midnight Rambler is on, and it gets to the middle of the song where it's the guitar part, and it's and I didn't realize that the record was skipping back, and that went on for like 15 minutes. And I had because it skipped back and it's right on the beat. So it was really hard to tell if the record is actually skipping. And I won't clean that. Well, I have 2 copies now, and I will not clean it or anything because I do not want to get rid of that back skip right on the beat like that. I mean, it was bizarre. But yeah, had no idea that was skipping for like 10 minutes. I'm like, wow, I knew this is a really long version of this, but this is really long.
Especially that little riff.
It's definitely their best live album too. I mean, by far.
It's one of the things I listened to on headphones because I wanted to make time go as quickly as possible. And I knew if I put that on, time would fly by. It's one of the things I listened to when I was in line for hours on January 1st, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, all the way up to 10 in the morning, the day that marijuana became legal in Illinois on January 1st, 2020. That was one of the albums I listened to all the way through, standing in line.
I stood in that line too.
What I was listening to.
Yes,
I was waiting in line. I don't remember what I was listening to. I got free people. I think we just talked.
I got free swag too for being in line on that day. I remember. Now for records, these next 3 are not records I necessarily heard at the time, but they're still profound records, I think. The first one being Syd Barrett's "The Madcap Laughs." This was something I didn't pick up until much later. And the reason I did is I got a lot more interested in Pink Floyd and their history and started reading about them and learning about Syd Barrett. And that's also which kind of reignited my interest with Robin Hitchcock, because Robin Hitchcock was such a a fan and supporter of Syd Barrett's songwriting. He really idolized his songwriting and tried to emulate it as best he could in his own songwriting. And learning about what happened to Syd Barrett, this is when I also began to develop my intense dislike for Roger Waters, because I felt like, they were chums as kids, and to me, Roger Waters just kind of abandoned him. And then Gilmore, I began to respect him so much more because, I mean, he worked on this album and the production, and as well as the Opal one, which at first Roger Waters was involved in those projects, but dropped out because he just couldn't deal with Syd. But Gilmore stuck with it all the way through.
I kind of had the same thing. Like when I was a kid, listening to Pink Floyd, I was so into Floyd when I was in high school and college and stuff. And I bought those records. I bought both of his solo records, and I bought them at the time, and I was like, oh, I don't know, not for me. But I put them on the shelf, and they literally sat on the shelf for, I bet, two decades before I even pulled them out again. And then I got it. I understood them so much more after I kind of became an adult and had more varied taste and stuff. They're great records. That one's the better of the two, but
yeah,
they're really, really good.
Is this the one with Sister Golden, or not Sister Golden Hair, but what's it called?
Right.
No, this is not the one. This has got octopus. Golden Hair. Yeah, it does have golden hair on this one. So
yeah, it's really interesting. It's a good record.
This one, John Barleycorn Must Die by Traffic. Another one that I didn't listen to until I was in college. But it's just another album that completely blew me away. I was familiar with Traffic, mostly with Low Spark, which is another just absolutely incredible record. But this one, in fact, I think I did a track-by-track video where I was comparing John Barleycorn with Low Spark to see which one was the better one.
They're very different records, though.
Yes.
The Low Spark is more of that expanded band with it's jazzier. This is more of a folk record.
Right.
Yeah, it's really good.
And then this one too was one that came later. Paul Kantner and Jefferson Starship, Blows Against the Empire. Didn't hear this again until, I was in my late 20s when I was living in Tucson. But what a fantastic album. This is just beautiful from start to finish, all the way through, with a lot of help from Jerry Garcia on this record. And also Crosby's on. He did some of the songwriting. I didn't realize that. I just saw his name show up as one of the song credits. But yes, Blows Against the Empire. All right, now these next albums are ones that I heard at the time, and they are very influential in the direction of my own musical tastes. And there's no particular order. But the first one is the second album by King Crimson, In the Wake of Poseidon. This album, I mean, I was already blown away by In the Court of the Crimson King, but that was my brother's record. And this one is one that I got on my own. And I just Cat People is, or Cat Food, excuse me, Cat Food is such an amazing song. It's quite short on this record, but when I heard them play it live, it was a much longer song. I'm going to mention Led Zeppelin 3. I still vacillate. Is this my favorite Led Zeppelin, or is it Led Zeppelin 4? Or sometimes I'm thinking Physical Graffiti is my favorite, but this one,
I know what
really I don't know. There's just so many layers.
I'll wait till my turn. I'm sorry. I want to talk about everyone, but I'm showing the same record, so I'll wait.
Yeah. Tell your own stories with them. But it is a record that some of the songs, and also I can remember there was a friend of mine who didn't like this album, and he called a couple of the songs queer, and what that song. That's the way, why do I want to listen to this faggot song? It just was weird, as a 12-year-old hearing, one of my friends saying that kind of stuff about the songs. I thought they were beautiful, just absolutely beautiful songs. And then I also like the way the album is structured, with each side being, the first side being more acoustic and the other side being more electric and rocking. Abraxas, Santana. My memory of this is actually later. I mean, I heard it when it first came out, but when I was like 14 during the Summer Olympics, and I remember we were watching the Summer Olympics, we were watching swimming, and it was, let's see, so this would have been 72. That was Munich, wasn't it?
Yeah.
72 was Munich. So there was the tragedy of the hostages in Munich. But I remember we got a bunch of us were watching the swimming and Mark Spitz, and we were all really stoned listening to this record. And we all commented almost at the same time that it looked like the lanes were like the strings on the guitar and the swimmers were swimming through the guitar. We were just, we were baked.
That's high.
Not my favorite Fleetwood Mac album, but it's a great album.
Great.
Killing House.
So
Peter Green is gone. And this is the last one that Jeremy Spencer was on, I believe, as well. But the one song on here that gets me every time, and I commented on your video about songs that you crank up when you hear it, is Station Man.
Yeah, Station Man.
That song just such a
and
great
Christy
song.
McVie artwork is tremendous.
Yes.
I've never heard that album.
I love it. I've always liked that.
It's to me, it's got like I say, it's not my favorite one because I think there's a little bit too much Jeremy Spencer. There's a little too much of the Elmore James going down on this record.
I like Then Play On better, but that's a good one too.
Then Play On is definitely a much better album. But then we've got, this to me was almost the peak of Eric Clapton's career. In my opinion, he just kind of walked off, and I don't know, he just wasn't there anymore.
Singer-songwriter.
In my opinion. I mean, he'd just come off working with Delaney and Bonnie. There was the work he was going to do with Derek and the Dominoes, which also involved Greg Allman. I think Greg Allman really helped him at this time, or Dwayne Allman, I mean, really helped him at this time.
Helped him shoot up.
Yeah.
What's that?
Delaney helped him with his voice that he basically stole.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Delaney doesn't sound like Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton sounds like Delaney. Brambit.
Yeah.
But I tell you, what I really like about this record is that his guitar playing is just so spot on. And it's not too wild. His guitar solos are they're strong, they're on point, they're condensed, they're immaculate. And it, a couple good recordings afterward, but after that, it was like, once he got George Harrison's wife, I think that's things. My brother always said that he was no good after he got off the heroin, but I don't know. That's just the things my brother says.
It wasn't that great on the heroin.
Yeah,
that's
kind of
the
fucked
early
up.
heroin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Still
more
fucked
on
up
the
until, like,
alcohol
80.
at this time. He
Yeah.
was more of a drinker. But anyway, that's what my brother always said. Anyway, Neil Young, after the gold rush, I don't know. There's really not a whole lot to say about
Right.
this. It's not my favorite Neil Young album, but I would say that it is probably his, I don't want to say best recording, but I want to say the recording that kind of sealed his direction for a while.
Do we have the same favorite Neil Young? Isn't it Zuma?
Yeah, Zuma
Yeah,
is my
mine
favorite.
too. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
that's
that.
just such a killer album.
Tonight's the night.
Is that yours? I like Tonight's the Night.
I
too.
like those. Yes, but yeah, Zuma is just.
No one's asking Craig because we know how he feels about it.
I don't have a favorite Neil.
You can go back and see our
I almost said Neil
Young
Diamond.
discography review.
Yeah.
You almost said Neil Diamond. All right.
Yeah. That was a miserable experience. I mean, a wonderful experience for me.
When we did that ranking. Oh boy, I'm sorry. My
we don't
favorite
do those
Grateful
anymore.
Dead.
I think Neil Young killed it.
This is, and this is kind of weird because this and American Beauty are probably the two records that they put out that really pleased the record label because they weren't all this aimless, well, not aimless, but that's how the record company perceived them, aimless noodling and all this. And yet those two records, and this is my favorite of the two, are staples. The songs are in every show. You could go to a lot of shows and not hear anything from Mars Hotel. Well, you probably hear something from Mars Hotel. Yeah, it's kind of hard not to hear something from that.
Well, that's Mars Hotel is similar though. It's a selection of songs, and it's not a bunch of long jams, and it's
right.
concise out. It's similar to those.
Yeah, but they became staples of all their shows, particularly Uncle John's band.
That's my favorite Grateful Dead, and I know I'm in the minority, but I like the Grateful Dead albums more than I like the live album, studio albums more than I like the live albums.
Well, my favorite Grateful Dead album is a studio album, and that's that one, Working Man's Dead. All right, Mountain Climbing. This is it's a Japanese pressing, but this is.
I knew he'd get weird on us at some point.
What's that?
I knew you'd get weird on us at some point.
Yeah.
Mountain?
I had another copy, but it just sounded really shitty. And then I got this Japanese pressing, and oh my God, it just sounds so good.
So what is it? It's Mountain? Or
yes, Mountain Climbing.
Okay. The one with
the
Mississippi
Great
Queen, if you know what I mean.
That's right. Such a recognizable riff. That opening riff. Was that?
Mississippi Queen's not on that, is it?
Yeah, it's the opening track.
Yeah.
I've never heard that record then.
I mean, talk about a song. You were talking about songs that you just hear, like Mike had that video, songs you hear and
the crank up.
That would be one for me.
Man.
Yeah.
And I want to find the fullest, richest sounding version of that. I back in the 90s when, you were buying different CD, that's what I was on the quest for, is like, I kept buying like Mississippi Queen on different, even like compilation type CDs, like Super Rock of the 70s, trying to find the best, fullest, because I just wanted to crank that guitar riff up.
Yeah.
And Guncles, listen to the lyrics of that song. You can make them mean. You can make that song have a whole other meaning if you want to. Mississippi Queen, if you know what I mean. Taught me all about love and.
Well, yeah,
around Vicksburg.
Who is this again? I've never heard of this.
Mountain.
I've never heard of it. Well, I know.
Putting it on my. I'm driving 4 hours tomorrow morning, so
featuring Leslie West.
And you've got feeling.
And it's short, 2.5 minutes long. You're in, you're out, you're done. You're on to the next one, or you just listen to it again.
There's a lot of great songs on this. All the way.
Yeah, I've never heard it. I don't know why.
Down to my the last two that I will show. This album, when it debuted, was astonishing.
Is that
I mean, I
70?
can remember being in junior high school, and it was like everybody had to have this record. It was just, and not just because of the dark Satan kind of thing that was going with it, that was certainly titillating to a 12-year-old, but just the amazing playing and the recording. This is an album that if I want to, and we did a video about this, if I want to test equipment, I'm going to play this record because it's got such a superb sound stage. It has such superb separation of the instruments and just incredible sounding all the way around. And it's just one of those records that, I mean, talk about, you know, great debuts of the time. And there were a lot of bands that were doing that. They were coming out with some really great debuts. But even Led Zeppelin with their debut, you know, what a way to start off their career. But they developed better records later. To me, Black Sabbath really kind of hit their stride with those first three records. And in my opinion, I kind of lost interest in them afterward. But that's just me, you know, I'm different. And speaking of different,
people, I mean, first four, you know, maybe first five. People will say that. Yeah. First five, and then it's a little bit of a, you know, you get into
I never
landing
even
position.
Never even made it as far as like the fourth album, but anyway, you know, this album, Bert Weenie Sandwich, Frank Zappa.
Speaking of,
yeah,
Richard goes into his dive.
I mean,
I was interested about the first 10 or 12 albums, and then, you know, after that.
Oh, this to me is such a remarkable recording. It is just absolutely amazing. And plus, at the time, I was, you know, playing in the school band, playing saxophone. So the saxophone parts in this are just really incredible to me. The way the album is structured, you've got two doo-wop songs on the outside, which is the bread to the Bert Weenie Sandwich, and then you've got this funky, jazzy fusion, avant-garde material in the middle, making the sandwich. It is named after Frank's allegedly favorite meal, the Bert Weenie Sandwich, where, you know, when he would take a break from work, he'd go upstairs and get a Hebrew dog, wiener or whatever, the Hebrew Frankfurter, cook it on the gas flame of the stove, and then put it on a piece of bread with some mustard, and that was his Burnt Weenie Sandwich. So, yeah, that's what he lived on. Burnt Weenie Sandwich, coffee, and cigarettes.
I live on the second one. Coffee and cigarettes. That's my diet.
But it is.
How do you think I
to
stay
me?
so
It is still my favorite Frank Zappa recording. It is to me so amazing in everything that it does, in the variety of its music. It's just an amazing recording, and you know, I'm sorry for taking like 30 minutes to go through all this, but those are the records that really did have, you know, I was 12 years old. We're talking about when music is probably has the most profound impact on you, when you're roughly from 12 to 14. It's just like your musical tastes are shaped. And the next disruption is not going to happen until you're roughly 18 or 19. Then a new disruption happens, at least for me. That's when a new disruption happened in my music. So anyway, there you go. Thank you very much.
Good night.
And we are the Vinyl Community Guncles. I'm Robert Fithen. Oh, it's me, right?
Yes.
It's okay. It's single time. Miss Single Ladies. Okay. I have a top 15. I almost said 14. I have top 15. Nothing too extravagant because I didn't know a lot of stuff when I was looking through the list. So I was -3 in 1970. So
well, 70 was definitely seems like from what music is still thought of is definitely more of an album.
I think so. But there were some good singles that I like and
albums were king back then. Yeah.
Number 15 is a great jam sung by a little orange guy and not Trump.
He's and call him little.
Yeah, he's not little. But Ernie singing Rubber Ducky, You're the One, You Make Bath Time Lots of Fun.
Wow.
It's just, hey, I loved that song when I was a kid. My mom called my brother John and I Bert and Ernie because he was skinny and I was fat. And
I remember that song.
I do.
It's a great song. It makes me giggle.
I never heard that song as a child. I only heard that song after I was an adult.
Really?
Yeah. I heard the name, but I never heard the actual song.
My brother gave me like a Sesame Street Greatest Hits tape when I was like 7 or 8 or something like that. So I knew a lot of the jams, but yeah, it's fun. Memories. Number 14. Oh, since you've been gone, all you left me was a band of gold, Frida Payne. Thank you.
Now you know what that song's about, right?
Yeah, they like broke up or they're having an affair. No, yes.
Why did they? What happened?
I don't know. There's a band to go because I was just listening to it.
Yeah,
there's an affair
again.
He's not having an affair. He can't get an erection. He can't. Make it happen on their wedding night, and she wants him to come back and try again. But he got embarrassed and ran off. Now all that's left is a band of gold. Why don't you come back and love me like you tried before?
Oh, I guess I didn't get that. I just thought, he left her with the band of gold because he's cheating on her with a dude. But
well, kind of, except it's his own dude.
I don't know. Shish. And Belinda Carlisle covered it. Frida's is better, but I like Belinda's. Okay, number 13, Elton John with Take Me to the Pilot. Na 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 na. I love that song just so very much. It's one of my favorite Elton songs.
Me too.
Number 12, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles with Tears of a Clown. Boop, 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 boop. Number 11 would be Grassroots with Temptation Eyes. Through my soul's mind or something like that. And later covered by Blake Babies. Don't you give that
I can't even. Wow.
I love their version of that.
I've never heard
Grassroots is better, but I love it. I have a visual. It's so exciting. And number 10, it's the greatest hits, but the song's on it. So Neil, here he is, Neil Diamond with Sue Lemon. Lemon. I love that song. Shush. I don't remember
so many better songs.
Right.
Cracklin' Rosie was also a single that year, which is great because she's a store-bought woman.
That's my favorite.
Oh, look at this. They're twinners.
Yeah.
Sue Lemon. I love Sue Lemon.
Cracklin' Rosie is the best song.
It's so good. Cracklin' Rosie is pretty great too because she is a store-bought woman.
She is.
My mother loved this song and I love it and I think it's wonderful and people hate her or love her, I don't know, but it was a big hit. Number 9 would be Anne Murray with Snowbird.
I was gonna
people hate her. I
don't know Snowbird.
I think people are either they like her or they're indifferent.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, they like her or they don't like her, but I think she's pretty great.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely
don't
grew up
remember
with
that song.
her.
Yeah, well, I mean, I used to just hide that I liked her, but because
Now
I
that's a
get
cheating
it.
song.
Snowbird is?
Yeah. My love is forever untrue. So her lover cheated or whatever
Oh,
was untrue.
oh
So she
yeah,
just wants
'cause
to
she's
fly
gonna
away with the bird.
fly away. Away with
Wants the
you.
birds to take her away and fly off and be free.
Oh, Anne.
And also the thing about it being a snowbird, and she's Canadian, and Canadians are called snowbirds, and when they travel.
That's what we called the old people that went to live at Phoenix in the winter.
Oh,
Yeah, they were the snowbirds. They went to because they didn't want to be in the snow.
There's
They said the same thing about people who went to Florida in the winter.
Yeah,
probably, but
I
you know,
thought it was Canadians. Okay.
I don't know. Number 8 would be a Three Dog Night. The song was originally done by that Eric guy and the Animals, but I like Three Dog Night's version better, and that would be Mama Told Me Not to Come. She said
that was originally done by Eric Burden
and the Animals. Yep.
I didn't know that. Wow.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know it until I was reading about it. That
must have been horrible.
I can't imagine it would be good, but yeah, Three Dog Night. Also
like
later
Burden
covered
and
by
Animals.
Wolfgang Press, because I love to mention the covers. Yeah, number 7. This is it's kind of fun because it was not fun, and I'll probably get made fun of for this. I don't care. Anyways, originally this was done under a name, and then it would later be so and so but his label would not let him have his name on it, and it was originally released as Dawn or The Dawn, and that would be Candida, and that later would become Tony Orlando and Dawn, but the single was before there was even a Dawn with Telma and the other chick. I do have a lovely greatest hits here, but it's not just The Dawn. This is Tony, but Candida. That was the very first The Dawn, or you have Candida right there. Look at that. Oh, with the Dawn. Look at that.
I mean, it was right there. The D's.
I just have the greatest.
Neil Diamond and the Dawn, and they're right there.
But yeah, but then I have Telma, so she's great.
What was she in?
She was on Give Me a Break. She was on
It's a
Family Matters. Number 6. Black Sabbath with
What?
Paranoid.
Craig has a Black Sabbath album?
Craig has a Why is that surprising?
You just showed Anne Murray and then Tony Orlando. And
I always show an Anne Murray and Metallica or Tool because that's why I'm called a plethora.
Oh, that's
or a plethora because my musical taste makes absolutely no sense to the normal person. But yes.
Oh, please don't say that the song is Fairies Wear Boots.
What? No,
I just said Paranoid.
The song Paranoid. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know a Harry Wears Boots, or is that on here?
Fairies Wear. It's the worst song on there. It's the only
this is the fancy 2-disc edition too. But I'm pretty sure the record, 2, I think it's all instrumental or alternative.
I've got the quad version. And fun fact, on the quadraphonic version that was released, I think the same year or a year later, War Pigs does not wind up on the end. It just plays straight through.
Oh.
Fun fact.
And here it goes from one extreme to the next. Number 5. Oh, you have a big ass box of it.
And you know how much I bought this for?
$1.
One of those sales that I didn't tell you guys about. It was only $50.
Wow.
I wouldn't tell anyone either.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm sorry, I didn't tell
How
anyone.
rude.
Yeah, it's all live shit, and yeah, I never listened to that.
Yeah. So again, one extreme to the nether to the next. Number 5. Ba 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 ba. Partridge Family. I think I love you. And this is my beautiful. It's a Korean Look at that nice label there.
A Korean pressing?
I have and this is like paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like, I found it at a thrift store for like 75 cents. It's in lovely condition, but yeah, that's my Partridge Family. Ba 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 ba. I was thinking and right. Also covered by Voice of the Beehive later. And David Cassidy's daughter did a terrible version of it too. Let's see, number 4. I don't have anything by him, but I love this song. And then he got in trouble for copyright, or he stole something. I don't know. So George Harrison with My Sweet Lord.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, One Fine Day. Is that the one?
One Fine Day from the Chiffons. No, it's not One Fine Day, which is it's He's So Fine.
He's So Fine. Yeah.
My sweet Lord, do lang, that cute boy over there.
Yeah.
You should mix up the lyrics and make it sound like your sweet Lord was a cute boy over there.
Yeah, I don't get how that was like. I guess I can kind of see the
totally the same melody.
Yeah, it's totally the same. That's fine.
I don't know. It's just slowed down, but I love that song. So, number 3, I actually don't have the album, but I have a greatest hits that has it on it. So, Carpenters with We've Only Just Begun. Wonderful, beautiful Carpenters compilation I have.
Originally conceived as a commercial.
It was a commercial, yes. He saw the commercial was on. I saw it in the Karen Carpenter Story made for television movie. Richard was watching the television and they had that commercial on, and then he wrote stuff to it.
I did.
Really?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's how they portrayed it on the Karen Carpenter.
I saw an interview with Paul Williams and it was a completely different story. Okay. Well, Richard,
I don't know. That's the way it was. I mean, it has been.
Richard Carpenter is going to insert himself into any kind of, I'm the genius.
It was a commercial, and it was just that line, "We've only just begun to learn," or whatever, and then he
to live,
whatever, and I think they learned at one point.
Well, that's the best part of the song anyway.
And we're on our own.
Singing on this episode.
Karen Carpenter is a
talking it over.
Their music is holy.
But then he comes in and it ruins it.
He fucking
and yes, we have
everything.
begun.
Karen made everything better, and she wasn't allowed to have a solo career because of him.
Anybody like him would have made me stop eating too.
There was a time when they used to come up with like Naked, like it was right around the time Let It Be Naked was out, when they were doing all of the, like Michael Jackson. They did one for Michael Jackson, where they I forget what they called them, but they would mix out certain things and re-release songs with completely different, with like instruments out. And so the voice was more prevalent, and they would call them some kind of mixes. I can't remember the word. There were like 4 or 5 albums that came out like that. They really should have done one with Karen Carpenter and done some of those Carpenter songs that he's on and just taken him out. Stripped mixes. Yeah.
Sorry, there was a cord hanging out. It bothered me. Where am I at? Oh, number 2. So good. One of my favorite voices of all time. If I were your woman and you were my man. Oh, my Gladys. I love Gladys Knight.
She's
and
great.
if I were your woman is that song. You know what's interesting about this anthology thing that I have here? It does not have Midnight Train to Georgia on it. How can you have?
It's not on Motown. Midnight Train to
Midnight
Georgia
wasn't on Motown.
It doesn't have I've Got to Use My Imagination either, I would assume.
No.
Yeah, those are not on Motown. Those are on Buddha.
Oh, that would be why. Well, this I'm like, this is the greatest hits. Now I see the Motown thing.
Those are
now.
great.
Yeah. There's several of those. There's one for every,
They're
Stevie
really
Wonder and Marvin Gaye, and they all have those.
And they
three.
sound awesome.
Yeah.
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 Oh, so good. Oh, Daddy could swear, I declare. I just love.
I think I have the Stevie
Love
Wonder.
us. Okay. Off of my favorite album of hers, opening track, probably my favorite song on the album.
This number one?
This is number one. I'm getting, right now it's number one. Yeah. Aretha Franklin with Don't Play That Song. You lied. Don't play that song. That is, it's really one of her finest, greatest recording. And this is really probably one of her
written by the president of Atlantic Records.
Really?
So, the record company president wrote that. Yeah, I'm at what's his last name?
God, I
let's see
just
if I can
watched
read it
a
on here.
documentary that had his
By Betty Nelson and Ahmed Ertgun.
Yeah.
Ertegun.
And they wrote it for Ben E. King, which his version's okay, but yeah.
I didn't know.
That's probably my favorite Aretha Franklin song.
There's not. I can't think of really any that's much finer. Except now it's not finer, but it's pretty damn close. I ain't never loved a man the way I loved you.
It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Okay, there you have it. There's my top 15 singles of 1970.
Okay.
Mike's turn.
It's my turn. We could have done 2 videos this year. I mean, I was telling the guys, I had 108 records in my collection from this year, including jazz. Incredible jazz records. I didn't pull any jazz. I did all, but I only pulled 15 because I'm not putting all those away. But I mean, it's an unbelievable year. I mean, 70, 71, 72. They're just unbelievable. I did pull one jazz record, but it's not really I guess technically it's a jazz record, but it's a party record, man. This thing kicks ass. Even I think Robert would like this. It's a guitar-based jazz record, and it's Right On Brother by Boogaloo Joe Jones. This is a party record. I mean, every song is upbeat. It's fun. They're all instrumentals, but it's some kick-ass
I've got a Boogaloo Joe Jones record.
Yeah,
it's not that one.
Play guitar.
I heard about Boogaloo.
But yeah, put this on at a party, and everyone's going to be sock hopping and having a great time.
I want a sock hop.
Sock hopping. Richard already showed this. My favorite Grateful Dead record. I just absolutely love this. I like American Beauty too, but this I prefer. I like songs like Black Peter and New Speedway Boogie is on here, which is the best song. Absolutely love this. Yeah, it's my favorite Grateful Dead record, definitely. My favorite Velvet Underground record. I still have been this silly.
Did that come out in 70?
Yeah,
it's their best record, and I know they were kind of falling apart at this point, and everything. But Lou Reed took over the band, and it's my favorite. I like the
it's
debut.
a great
too.
record.
This is so damn good with rock and roll and Sweet Jane.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was 7. I have a reissue though, so it's probably why it didn't come up.
Yeah, maybe. This is probably the tour that Ray Davis left. Kinks. What is it? Powerman versus Lola and the Money Ground.
Lola.
Great record. I like the 70s Kinks. I'm not a big. I like some the hits in the 60s, but their records for me are too folksy Britishy stuff. I prefer the 70s stuff. That kind of rocks a little bit. Yeah, exactly. We've talked about this when we did our discography review of him. B.B. King, Indianola, Mississippi Seeds. This is awesome, man. It's still my favorite B.B. King record. Really, really good. Great cover too. I love the cover art. Terrific record. I'm surprised Robert's not done yet. He probably.
I didn't start getting really deep into the blues until much later.
Yeah, I've had that record probably since college. A guy living on the same floor as me had that. He had that and the one where he's laying on the beach. What's that one called? It's got Hot Time Summer in the City.
Guess who?
Guess who? Yeah, he had those two records. I immediately ran out and bought both of them. Here's a couple of great R&B soul records. I mean, one of the great albums of the entire 70s. Curtis Mayfield Curtis. This is being released as a Rhino Reserve, but you know what? This sounds great. I was listening to it over the weekend, and I think I'm going to stick with this copy. I'm not going to get that Rhino Reserve that's coming out for Record Store Day. I think I'm going to stick with this.
I love that suit.
It's great, right? Great.
They could have used a different angle. That would have been fine.
Well, yes, but that suit is what I'm gonna replicate that suit and wear it to the prom.
You should wear it next week when we record.
Yes. Oh, do you think I can get one in time?
Wear one for Black Friday.
Man. I'm sure you can find one.
Oh yeah.
Wear one Record Store Day. Wear one to the record stores on Black Friday because that's coming out on Black Friday. So.
Yeah, and not purchase it. So that would be perfect.
Well, you don't need it. You already have the suit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't need it. The album if I have the suit, but absolutely not.
I mean, probably. Yeah, unbelievable.
Never heard that album.
Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? Great record. Everyone knows this. Sensational. Absolutely.
I've never heard it.
You haven't?
I've never heard that. And I know a few of the songs off of it, but I've never heard that album. I think it's one of those where it's been so hyped up that so many people call it like one of the greatest albums of all time. I'm afraid to listen to it because what if I don't like it?
Then you don't like it.
And you don't like it. It's okay.
Yeah, but I'm already
I've
done that
so many
times where people are telling me I have to listen to an album and I'm gonna love it so much, and then I listen to it and then I'm a terrible human being because I don't like it. So, but I like the few songs off of it that I've heard.
Well, that's all that matters.
I like Marvin Gaye. I think I have a greatest hits or something. I feel like that's all I need.
Yeah, and the album that he did. What's it? For You, Hun, or For You, Love?
Here, My Dear.
Here, My Dear. Yeah, that's a
I've heard that album.
Yeah, that's a great
that one's good.
And the story behind that is fantastic. Yeah.
I've never heard his 1970 album called What's Going On either. So
are you lying or
no? I've heard the 1971 album called What's Going On.
Okay. Oh, that came out in 71.
It came out in 71? No, it was on my list that I was
just before somebody comments.
It was on my list I was looking at, I swear. Don't, Craig.
I'm gonna look.
Let's move on. Abraxas, great freaking record by. Yeah, this might be my favorite Santana. I don't know. I love the first three. They're all great.
Well, the first three are just yeah.
And this freaking sounds great. I mean, all the hype about the MO5 of this, sensational. Probably my second best sounding record in my collection. Yeah, 71. Okay. We've moved on. My favorite solo Beatle and my favorite solo Beatles record, John Lennon, Plastic Ono Band. Just man, I'll never forget the first time I heard. I like this better than. Well, never mind. I won't say that because somebody will comment. But yeah, I mean, this is as good as some Beatles records. I'm sorry. I mean, this thing is great. Just the raw emotion of the whole thing. It's perfect all the way through. You can hear him. It's
one of those albums that I remember hearing it for the first time too. I distinctly remember that.
Yep.
Yeah.
What is it called?
I remember coming home from the record store with it and putting it on and just being wow. His vocals throughout the whole thing. You can hear the pain and the anguish in every song because it's not a real upbeat album. It's kind of depressing, but man, freaking great, man. This is better than Imagine. A lot of people say Imagine's better, but I don't think so.
I just think Imagine is so different.
Yeah, it is.
That I would have a hard time comparing the two.
Yeah. I didn't get turned on to this actually until a few years ago, and I was one of these people like this band's early stuff. I was like, oh, that's great, and then when they started to fall apart, I kind of figured that those records suck. But then I went and discovered those records after the band was falling apart, and that's the Byrds, Untitled. This is a kick-ass record, man. This is really, really good. One side is live and one side is studio. And man, a lot of these later Byrds records are really, really impressive. And I was very surprised. I didn't discover any of their later stuff until probably about maybe even like 10 years ago. So, but I love the early stuff, the first few, three or four. And but yeah, these are kick-ass, man. Really good country rock. Another kick-ass record. I just bought this a couple years ago. Leon Russell's first solo record. I think this is his first solo record. Really good record. Really, really good record. Bonnie and Delaney on it, we talked about earlier. Excellent record. And I got it for $3. So, kick-ass record.
That's not an expensive album.
No,
it's not. It's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you get like the first pressing with was it Masters of War? I think it's only like a minute and a half long. For some reason that's removed.
Or with the symbol right side up, because then I think he got sued by Superman or something.
Superman, they put a black strip through later ones. Those are like the third or fourth pressings where they have the black strip through the Superman.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, great record. Excellent.
Still sounds great no matter what the logo is.
Yeah. If you like that Clapton record, you would love this. This is right along the same lines, with Bonnie and Delaney and crew. I know the answer to your question. You didn't know if you like Zeppelin 3 or 4 better. Is that what you said earlier, Richard?
Yeah, I vacillate between the two.
Yeah, 4 is their best record, but this is my favorite.
Yeah.
I love this record. This is my copy that I had in high school. I still have it.
Love it.
It's just, and it's, yeah. I love the acoustic stuff. I absolutely love it. Yeah, it's just great. Their second album, I'll probably get shit on for saying that. I don't like Led Zeppelin 2.
I don't like Led Zeppelin 2 either.
I would take the first one and this.
I don't like Led Zeppelin at all. So.
Oh my god.
No, I mean,
the one that I was kind of like, I've kind of fallen out of because I listened to it a couple of times. I listened to it when they first got re-released on album. Then I listened to it again. Is the first one? It's just kind of like it's not as great as I remember it being.
I love it. Absolutely love it. The first one. I don't need to hear Moby Dick again. I don't need to hear A Whole Lot of Love.
Oh, I need to hear A Whole Lot of Love right now.
I mean, maybe it's because I heard that out when I was a kid so much. Same with 4. I never put on 4, but this one I still go to every once in a while. I love 3. It's great. I got a couple more. Oh, I just have 2 more. And Morrison Hotel.
I have not listened to that.
My second favorite.
Oh, that's got one of my favorite songs of theirs on there, I think. Peace Frog is on there, right?
Yes.
It's my second favorite Doors record. I love LA Woman is my favorite, but Morrison Hotel's my second favorite.
I feel like my other song I love is on there.
We'll wait for you.
Well, no, just continue talking.
1970 was not a good year for the Doors.
Oh, it's got Roadhouse Blues on
That's
it.
kind of when they started to distance themselves from Jim Morrison because of his behavior.
Yeah.
Fun fact, the interior of the bar on the back cover is where the interior of that is where Michael Jackson's Beat It video was shot.
Yes.
Oh.
And the front just burned down, didn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, there was a big fire in that building, and I think
I heard that it's an actual place called Morrison Hotel, and when they saw it, they all just ran in front of it and ran in front of the window and took the picture really quick.
Yeah.
Before, like, the owner told them to get out, or what are you hippies doing? Or
yeah, I think I read that it burned down very recently. And my favorite record from this freaking amazing woman. I agree with everything that Robert and Craig said earlier, but this is my favorite Aretha Franklin record, Spirit in the Dark.
Wow.
Perfect. perfect. I love this record. Her voice on here is spectacular.
Good.
Absolutely spectacular. But yeah, definitely my favorite Aretha Franklin. I mean, she's got a lot of great fucking records. But yeah, this has always been one of my favorites. It always stuck with me. This is an original that I bought years and years and years ago. It's not in good shape.
I'll have to look that one up. I don't have that, and I've never really
love it. Love it, love it, love it. And that's it. You have one bottom coming. That's it.
Well, I'll start off mine with this one. I have 40.
Oh,
Okay, let me go.
Got a long episode going on here. Well, it is 1970. But
I won't interrupt.
What's that?
I won't interrupt, even though I just interrupted.
Anybody can interrupt. I'll just start with this one then.
We'll be here all night.
You just showed it, Aretha Franklin's "Spirit of the Dark," and I thought that I was the only one where this was their favorite Aretha Franklin album. One of the first videos I ever did, Vinyl Community on my channel, and it's still there. Please don't watch it. I'm in a radio studio, and I'm doing my favorite Aretha Franklin albums, counting them down, and I am so like hyped up because I didn't know really what to do with the channel. I was new to YouTube, and so I was doing it more in a presenter type way, and I sound like I am high on cocaine. I am talking so fast and so like hyped up. And my favorite Aretha Franklin album of all time is this one, and this is blah blah. And please do not watch that video, but this is my favorite.
Well, we're all gonna go back and watch it.
Watch it, people.
Oh, Aretha Franklin album of all time. The recording on here, the sound of this is incredible. And don't play that song. The very first song is my favorite Aretha Franklin song, but it also has the one where why do I sing the blues? Where she's, talking about sleeping next to roaches, and you got the nerve to ask me why I sing the blues. Roaches asking me to move over and give them some room, and you got the nerve to ask me why I sing the blues. When the battle is over, just kind of this gutsy kind of relationship song. Spirit in the Dark, the title track.
So good.
And then her version of The Thrill Is Gone, I actually like more than BB King's.
I do too.
Agreed.
I'm not going to show all these, and I'm not going to go into long form like that on all these. Just, because some of these it goes without saying. Black Sabbath debut, Black Sabbath Paranoid, Neil Young After the Gold Rush. Already talked about that. I remember buying that CD. Of course, I have the record now. Led Zeppelin 3. Not my favorite Led Zeppelin. I think it's kind of uneven, but it's different. It's acoustic. It's more acoustic. But if you're going to listen to the Immigrant Song, listen to it on the remastered box set. There's something about the version that's on Led Zeppelin 3 that just sounds very echoey. I definitely prefer the remix of that, and I usually don't like remixes. Let's see. Grateful Dead, Working Man's Dead. We already talked about John Lennon, Plastic Ono Band. Like I said, like Mike, I remember where I was the first time I heard that. I remember like the third or fourth time I heard it. And my mother walks into the room, and I think I've told this story before. And here's the "You're so fucking crazy," and you're so fucking whatever he says later. And Working Class Hero. She took the record away from me, wrote "adult" on it, and was going to sell it in a yard sale. I still have that cover with her handwriting "adult." And she forgot about it, that she had it in her room hidden, and I just went in and got it like 2 months later and kept it. And that's why I still have it. Flying Burrito Brothers. Everybody just talks about the first one, the Gilded Palace of Sin, with the Graham, almost a Graham Nash. What's his name?
Parsons.
What's that?
Parsons.
Which is all right, whatever. But they have other great albums without him too, like Burrito Deluxe. I really enjoy that one. Creedence Clearwater Revival, Pendulum. A lot of people don't talk about that one, but that one's got some great stuff on there. Ramble Tamble, the very first song, is one of those long Creedence Clearwater. It's just as good as any of the other ones. Cosmos Factory came out the same year. That's the one everybody talks about. That's great as well.
That's a good one.
They're best.
The Moody Blues, Question of Balance. They've got a lot of great albums, and they're all super cheap.
They are. And they all sound good.
Oh, my God. John Lodge just passed away, continuing my weird thing about watching a movie and the person will die, listening to an album and the person will die. Currently, I'm working on a 1972 deep dive. So I listened to the Blue Jays album from Justin Hayward, and John Lodge.
He dies.
Like the day he died. And I didn't find out that he died until like 2 days later. And then what day did he die? The day that I was listening to that album. I have this strange thing where this keeps, it hasn't happened in a couple of years, but it used to happen like all the time. I'd be watching a movie.
Can you start listening to some like Peter Cetera and Phil Collins for me?
Yeah. Well, I'll listen to fucking Kid Rock or something. Really make it work.
Oh, yes. Repeatedly.
Were you
no one
listening
mentioned the
to
Beatles. Let it
D'Angelo?
be. I was kind of surprised. Not my favorite Beatles album. I think it's, you know what it show. It's the Beatles though, so it's still great. I mean, it has Let It Be and The Long and Winding Road and For You Blue. I like the 2 George Harrison songs on there.
Back.
They're not my favorites, but they are. It is the Beatles. But what it really does is it showcases how important George Martin was to the Beatles, because he's not the producer, and you see, you don't see it, you hear how different they sound without him.
Yeah,
he did produce the Let It Be single and the Get Back single, and probably the B-sides. Well, he definitely produced the You Know My Name, Look Up the Number, but that's whatever. That's just silliness. But when you hear songs like Two of Us, and that just kind of, I don't know, it just doesn't sound like the Beatles. It sounds more like a 70s boogie band or something. The way that they're on the mics and the whole production sound of that, I really miss George Martin on that. Steve Miller Band, Fly Like an Eagle and Book of Dreams are awesome. But he's got a great album in 1970 called Number 5.
Yeah.
And that was the 3rd Steve Miller Band album I ever heard. I grew up as a little kid with Book of Dreams and Fly Like an Eagle, and then in the back of Columbia House, they used to have their $1.99 section. And whenever you bought an album, you could get another one for $1.99. And my sister let me pick out, because she was getting a Mickey Gilley record or something, and she let me pick out one of the $1.99 ones to go with that. And Steve Miller Band, I know who that is. And it was an 8-track, and it was called Number 5. I had no idea what it was or any of the songs on it, but so I was listening to Steve Miller Band Number 5 when I was probably like 7 years old.
You were doing blind buys at 7 years old. That's kick-ass.
Yeah, out of the back of Columbia House. Curtis Mayfield, Curtis.
Yeah.
I didn't show it. I'm not showing it because I don't have it. Never owned it.
Are you going to buy that?
I always meant to get it. Never have. That album artwork is a total turn on. That probably has something to do with it.
I love it.
Well, just the pose and the camera angle is like, I don't want. Why are we spotlight on Curtis Mayfield's gooch? It's like, I don't. Why? Front and center.
Are you going to buy the Rhino?
Yes, so I'm going to get the Rhino Select or whatever it's called on Record Store Day. I didn't get it lately because I kept meaning to get the box set and get all 5 albums together. But then what kept happening was I kept getting the albums in really good condition. The later ones in that box set, like There's No Place Like America, I've got, and Sweet Exorcist and all those. So now I just don't have Curtis and Roots. So I need to get both of those, and I'm definitely try to get that Rhino Select on Record Store Day. Cool. If you are a record store owner and you're like, hey, it's the new Curtis album, maybe I'll throw this on with a store full of people. You don't want to do that. You want to skip over the first 8 or 10 seconds of the very first song. Do not blast that in your record store or in your car as you got the windows rolled down and you're rolling through the neighborhood. That's just not a good idea. That is what I've referred to before several times as a windows up song. It's called If There's a Hell Below, We're All Gonna Go. You don't want to play the first 8 seconds.
No.
Okay, moving on to Hawkwind's debut. Awesome, Hurry Sundown and all that. A little more conventional, a little more accessible than some of their way out spacey stuff that they would do later, but it's still a great rock album from 1970. Morrison Hotel from the Doors, goes without saying, great, like Craig said, Peace Frog, Roadhouse Blues, You Make Me Real, She Was a Queen of the Highway. All those are on there. It's the antithesis of the album that's right before it, The Soft Parade. The horns are gone, the jazzy arrangements are gone. They're a hard blues rock band.
Blues rock band, yeah.
They went from being psychedelic to being like the band on TV on the Ed Sullivan Show. Well, not Ed Sullivan because he kicked him off, but whatever show that's on where they're doing Touch Me with the horns and everything. Now they're a hard blues band. So they went
Midnight Special.
What's that?
I said Midnight Special. I'm just thinking of those shows.
No, it was like one of those Smothers Brothers type variety. UFO's first album came out in 1970. Again, just like Hawkwind, they're the opposite though. They're more spacey now and a little more psychedelic than they would be later on when they would go into more of just like the full AOR sound. Deep Purple in rock, great. Deep Purple at pretty much their prime here. A couple of years from now, they're going to release Machine Head, and that's going to be pretty much the peak. The Stooges. Nobody mentioned the Stooges with Funhouse.
Yeah,
man,
I wanted to include that, but
incredible. Nobody mentioned Funkadelic.
No,
two albums
two
coming out this year.
records out, didn't
The
they?
debut and Free Your Mind. Yeah. Just weird, way out. We're completely on drugs, making records. But in addition to the two Funkadelics, you also had Parliament and Osmium. Got that for a record store day. This is my favorite kind of record store day release. Impossible to find. When you did find it, it was $75 in G+ condition. So nice re-release for record store day, and I definitely
it sounds
glad to get that. Bruce Hack. Here's a way out one called the Electric Lucifer. Electronic music. This was stuff that you had to be on drugs to even know what this is. This is probably sold in head shops. But again, the guy's name is Bruce Hack. James Gang for just some, the opposite of that, just some great hard rock and roll, party songs. James Gang, Rides Again. Atomic Rooster, Death Walks Behind You, a little more psychedelic kind of stuff. David Bowie. No, the man who sold the world.
Yeah.
That's pretty much, he's just about ready to find his.
Did you just have a light go
dark
out?
all of a sudden?
Yeah, you're.
Because I put up that really white album. I want to put up a really dark album. And get the light back. There we go.
You're
a little bit.
I need a black album. How about this one? This is a really dark album cover. Demon Fuzz with Africa.
Yeah. I knew you were going to show that, so I did.
Yeah. This is actually kind of jazzy, but it's good jazzy. It's spaced out, wild, wacky. And this one I'm showing because this has something in common with Twink and Think Pink. More kind of crazy, not really crazy, but more of like a kind of 70s.
What they have in common.
And these two albums I got when I was in Chicago with the Vinyl Community Guncles.
With us.
I'm going to throw out another really white album. I hope I don't go dark again, but the Kinks, I'll put it back here. And Lola versus Powermen Lola versus Powermen and the Money Go Round. And this is one that I always meant to hear, but never got around to it. And then Marsha P suggested this for me.
Remember Marsha?
Yeah.
Where is she?
I miss her.
Yeah, where did she go?
I don't know. She was doing the show with What's His Head.
She was a Gunkle head. She was one of our first.
Mm-hmm.
But she suggested this, and I went out and got a reissue of it just so I could have it. And yeah, she was right. It's great. So yeah, the Kinks. Let's see, where were we? Black Widow and Sacrifice. More satanic than Black Sabbath. It's Black Widow. Eric Clapton's debut, great. I mean, great all the way through with a lot of classic songs on there like Blues Power. Bet you didn't think I knew how to rock and roll. Who would say that about Eric Clapton? Double album from a band named Gypsy. That's more of a regional favorite, but really great album. Basically, just a touch of psychedelia. They get a little more psych on their later stuff, but it's a good regional Midwestern kind of rock album. Joni Mitchell, Ladies of the Canyon. I used to really, really, really like Joni Mitchell, and she's one of those people I need to stop watching documentaries and tidbits about, because the more I find out about her, the less she's like a mean girl or something. She's always going off on other artists and trashing people and being
she was a bit narcissistic as well.
Like, really?
I didn't know that.
She
doesn't seem like
kind of thought she was the next greatest thing.
What's that?
I think that's why Neil Young kind of pushed her
I just saw interview with Sarah McLachlan because she years ago covered River. And Joni heard it, and she's like, "Well, it's a version."
Yeah, I mean,
that's all. She's just like, not is it good, not is it bad, and Sarah was just like, "Well, I was just happy that she listened to it."
What the hell? The band Gong came out with their The band Gone came out with their debut this year called Magic Brother. Little more like the Hawkwind, it's a little more conventional than what they would do later on. So a good starting point for people trying to get into that band. May Blitz, another debut, self-titled, another great just hard rock band that never really got their dues. Badfinger, No Dice, BB King, Straight Up Blues, Indiana, Mississippi Blues. Canned Heat. With Future Blues. That's one of their best albums.
And you know what? I think Hooker and Heat came out that same year too, when they had they were the backup band for John Lee Hooker.
Yeah, and it's like being a fly on the wall. The whole album sounds like a non-stop recording session.
Yeah,
there's like talking and chatter and
that was a record store release a couple years ago. I picked that up.
I've had all the Canned Heat for so long. That was one of the first bands I started. I mean, I got to get everything from these guys.
I did too.
Junior Parker, The Outside Man. It was only around for a year or so, and then it went out of print, and it switched labels, and the whole thing changed. With a different name and a different album cover. The Outside Man is a white cover with a black cat on it that looks really cool, but the reissue was really cool too. Came out like in '73, I think. Same songs, just in different order with a different title. Called "Love Ain't Nothing But a Business Going On." Look at that.
Wasn't that a record store day reissue?
I don't think so.
I picked it up.
It was. I didn't. I already had it, so I didn't.
Oh, okay. But I picked it up also just last year. It's a great record.
Parker, excellent. And then finally, I saved this one till last. Santana, Abraxas, one of the few ones of these I have, but it certainly does sound absolutely incredible, which is a rarity for MoFi. But you know, broken clock, right twice a day type thing. But yeah. Abraxas.
Does it sound great?
What's that?
I have a lot of MoFis that sound great.
This one sounds incredible.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. I mean, the blonde on blonde sounds just as good. But
yeah, this is the one with the too big.
The hype around that is worth it.
Yeah, it's for real. Oye Como Va and Black Magic Woman are the two big hits on here, but the whole album.
You know, I know those songs.
And Leon Russell's debut. And that's my 40 for 1970.
Great
so that's year. The good stuff. Time for the bad stuff. We promised the bad. See, it's 1970, so the bad stuff is actually going to be a lot shorter. We won't have a list of 40 for the bottoms of 1970.
Yeah, I don't have any bad records or. You know, I mean, I'm sure there were, but I didn't listen to them, or anything like that. But when it came to some news events, there was some shit going on, and I'd broken my list up into two parts. The first part here is a little more general, because on January 24th there was James Shepard. He was of the Heartbeats. And Shep and the Limelights. It's a doo-wop, I guess a doo-wop, late 50s, early 60s. And he was found murdered in his car on Long Island Expressway. He was shot to death, and it was characterized as at the time, and it was actually not at the time. Later, it was characterized as a attempted robbery. So, who knows what really was going on in that situation. It's interesting in that he had a number 2 hit in 1961 called Daddy's Home. That was his big hit. Yeah. And this was part of, you see, he was credited with probably being the first rock and roller or whatever, or pop music person who created a song cycle. So he would have these songs, and Daddy's Home is part of them, that told the story of him meeting his girlfriend, going out with his girlfriend, marrying his girlfriend, raising a family. And so he had this song cycle that went across both the Heartbeats and Shep and the Limelights. So, it was a sad situation that he was murdered, but at the same time, he had a significant role in music history, popular music history.
That's interesting. That's interesting. St. Vincent did an album called Daddy's Home. And I always wonder. I wonder if there's a connection.
Yeah, maybe I have to look that up and see if they were inspired
Well, I think it's
by
a popular saying. Mommy, Daddy's home. It's kind of
Yeah, but it always creeped me out. I don't know. Okay, sorry.
that song is definitely creepy.
the title.
Stephanie
Yeah, kind of
Limelight
creeps
song.
me out. I did not hear the song,
I can't.
so I
I
don't
never liked it.
know. But
Yeah,
it's but
Daddy's home to
Yeah.
stay.
there were a lot of little ticky-tacky like fines and things going on. Jefferson Airplane got fined for $1,000 because they used profanity in a concert at Oklahoma City. That was in February. And in March of that year, Janis Joplin got fined. She was only fined for $200 for using profanity during a concert in Tampa, Florida. So there was a lot of that going on where just, there was, you would read about, I don't remember when the Rolling Stones show, I think it was later, maybe 71 or 72, where in San Antonio, they had the inflatable penis on the stage.
For
That's
Honky
72.
Tonk Women.
So I can't remember what when that was, but there was a lot of that was going on.
That was 72.
72. Okay.
Yeah.
Now this is, it's not funny, haha, but it's just funny sometimes when you have these like wholesome so-called pop stars, that turn out to be, pretty awful people. And that was the case with Peter Yarrow, who was the Peter of Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Come back.
He ends up pleading guilty to the charge was taking immoral liberties with a 14-year-old girl, and just, shit like that.
Jimmy Carter pardoned him.
Yep. And the revision, because he just passed away. The revisionist history on him was unbelievable. What a wonderful, the shit I read about him, what a wonderful person he was. He was human garbage.
Yeah,
And Peter, Paul, and Mary are terrible anyway. That fucking stupid I Dig Rock and Roll song.
Awful song. Uh-oh.
At least these people that you're complaining about I'm satirizing aren't fucking kids.
Yeah.
It's fucking disgusting.
I think the real
I like them.
bottom or tragedy
He's a
news of the year, though, starts in January with Jimi Hendrix. So you've got January 28th. He's just formed the Band of Gypsies, which turns into a major fiasco.
Yeah.
They're playing Madison Square Garden, and just after, I think, one or two songs, Hendrix walks off the stage telling everybody, we just can't get it going. We just can't get it together.
What a great time to be around as like a concert goer or whatever in this. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
This whole just experience of just like you go to a concert and the singer feels, for the guitarist feels like he can just, leader of the band, it's one of those times where you can just, hey man, we can't get this together, man.
But the thing is, they never really got their shit together.
No.
Even with that one album that was released in 1970.
Yeah, it was.
I remember at that time the song Machine Gun. Yeah. I thought that was a killer freaking song. But that was the only good song on the entire album. You got Buddy Miles, I think it was, who was playing drums. He couldn't get his shit together to play anything. It was just bad. And so on July 26th, Hendrix is playing at his hometown of Seattle at Six Stadium, where he is so trashed on drugs, he starts verbally abusing members of the audience. So the whole thing is just starting to collapse. Then we go to August with the Isle of Wight Festival. 600,000 people showing up for this. Largest rock festival of all time. And that was, another situation where, it was I don't think the Band of Gypsy, I think they broke up by then. They did that one record and, that was it. But then shortly after that, September 6th, This is during his European tour. He's greeted by booing at a German show. They just start booing him because of his late appearance out on stage, and he was incoherent. Billy Cox, who was bassist at the time, quits the tour and just abandons him and goes back to the United States. Then he makes his last appearance on September 16th with Eric Burdon and War at Ronnie Scott's Club in London. That's his last performance because 2 days later he's dead. 27 barbiturate overdose is what they said, at the time in some London hotel. 2 weeks later, roughly 2 weeks later, Janis Joplin, dead. Also aged 27, found dead from a heroin overdose at the Landmark Motor Hotel in Hollywood. That just sounds like a really classy address, So it was, and then the year ends. We really didn't talk what was going on with the Beatles at that time, but they were dissolving. They released their last album and they were dissolving. And December 31st, that's when Paul McCartney files a lawsuit against the other band members to dissolve their partnership, formally ending the band after 10 years. So there was a lot of really, great music and things that were going on, but there was a lot of, at the time, we look back on the whole dissolution of the Beatles. Yeah, it was kind of, whatever, our perspective now. But at the time, I'm 12 years old and the Beatles are breaking up, and it was devastating. The Beatles are they're ending, they're gone. They hate each other. There's all these rumors. There's all these things going on. It was kind of a traumatic deal at that time to be going through that and wondering what the hell happened. These guys sang about love and happiness with everybody and having fun and now
and then bands like Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin burst onto the scene, and it's music changed. It got a lot.
It definitely filled that vacuum. They definitely came in at the right time. But it was still kind of rough to think about. Oh wow, no more Beatles. So yeah, those were the bottoms that for me for the year 1970. Great year in music, but there was some dumbass shit that went on, and then it was an end of an era.
Yeah.
All right, Craig has the worst singles of 1970. Absolute worst.
Well, probably nobody is going to agree with me, but I despise both these songs, both by the same band. The band that I love, a band that I admire, that a lot of people do, because maybe sometimes too much, but the first being Let It Be. I hate that song so much. I have never liked that song, but the song I hate even more than Let It Be is The Long and Winding Road. I cannot.
How could you say
I hate it. So it's one of those songs that I cringe when I hear it. Like I get physically ill when I hear that song. Unless George Michael sings it, and then it's tolerable. But
a lot of people react that way about songs about dying.
Yeah.
About what?
The Long and Winding Road. It's life.
Yeah, I know. It is so sad.
I thought it was about a girl.
I don't know what it's about.
To me, it was a song about living, and you come to the end of the road.
There's somebody's door at the end of the road.
Right.
Leading to your door. I don't know.
Lead me to your door. The wild and windy night.
That might be why I do not think he sounds good on that song at all. I think he sounds terrible. And that might be why I do not like that song.
I always like that song, and I usually don't like.
I mean,
songs
if people
like that.
love it, go ahead and love it. But
I'm not crazy about Let It Be.
I love the stepping up violin part.
Yeah, I like
And I like Let It Be Naked so much better.
Oh, yeah.
Once I heard that,
Yeah,
I like
too.
it so much better than what was released.
But I still
But
like
anyway.
the schmaltzy strings that what's his fuck put on the Long and Winding Road. I think they worked.
Yeah, I just don't enjoy.
We're just gonna move on. We're gonna move on.
Go ahead and move on.
Whatever that was.
I mean, nothing against them. I just,
Well, I didn't have any bottoms, and then I was like, well, then I'm gonna get yelled at because I don't have any bottoms, and
You wouldn't have got yelled at.
I didn't do my homework, or so I took one of my albums from my tops and made it a bottom because it's more of a disappointment. But I've always really liked this record, so maybe it's a side. I don't know, whatever that is. This in 1970, Tim Buckley was at the top of the. I mean, he was the big folk singer, very popular, just immensely, handsome as can be, great voice. Everyone loved him. And this album, Lorca, came out. It's
Lorca.
universally pretty much panned. I don't think anyone really likes it. He went from folky, country kind of folk rock to this is like a jazz folk record, and every song on it, I don't think there's a song less than 7 minutes, 9.5 minutes, 8 minutes. Yeah, they're all over 7 minutes long, and they just kind of meander and get weird, and his vocals are they mess with his vocals in the studio. But I dig it. I just totally dig it. So it's just it's a disappointment to hardcore Tim Buckley fans. But if you like weird freak folk kind of stuff, this is psychedelic folk. Maybe it came out a little too late in 1970. Maybe if it came out in 69, 68, 67, maybe it would have been more popular, but I'm pretty sure it's universally panned as his worst album. But Tim Buckley, Lorca would be my disappointing bottom.
Well, if you're strapped for bottoms in early 70s, you can always just go right to Blood, Sweat, and Tears. So, you can always count on them.
I like the first album.
Oh, well, that's 69. 70, I think, is their second one. Just the self-titled one.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot either. I mean, I'm sure there was really stupid, schmaltzy nonsense. I mean, Judy Collins doing Amazing Grace or whatever and making a top 5 hit out of it. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
The Ray Stevens and Everything is Beautiful, starting with Jesus. The kids' choirs just randomly singing Jesus Loves the Little Children. And then he goes into Everything is Beautiful. But as ridiculous as that song is, it does have a nice melody to it.
Yeah.
So I think the really bad.
Yes.
I think that would work better as an instrumental. Dun, 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 but I think the really, really schmaltzy kind of throw up kind of shit happens more in the later mid 70s, early like 73, 74.
When the singer-songwriters take over.
Yeah, and then you start getting the videos like, how in the world did this ever make it to number 1? Those songs are all coming a little bit later, and we're still more like in the late 60s. That's how decades of music usually work. When you're in 1970, it's pretty much a holdover, just like the 70s were pretty, like 1980, 81 is still kind of a holdover from 78, 79. And 70s the same way. It's basically 1969 kind of continued, with the exception of the Beatles breaking up. Like Mike was saying, that did put a definite, wall between, okay, this is before, this is after. But the one song that I absolutely cannot stand, and like Craig, it's a song that a lot of people really, really like. It's not some schmaltzy thing that everybody, like the Candyman or something, where everybody agrees it's horrible. It's one that a lot of people like. I have never liked this song at all. I do not like the sentiment. I do not believe the sentiment. I do not believe the singer, knowing the singer, that he honestly thinks this. It is Stephen Stills' Love the One You're With. I cannot
Love the one you're with, that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the eagle flies with the dove, and there's a rose in a fisted glove. And if you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with.
Oh, Buck Fizz did a cover of that song.
Oh my God!
He's a notoriously bad dude. Yeah.
Right.
He was
So that's
amped
what I
up
was
on
getting to.
cocaine.
His whole point is, if you can't be with the one you love, just go find some hottie and fuck her, and that shows how much you love the one you can't be with, because you're just going to love the one you're
The
with.
one that we're with.
Like, you can just do that, and it's okay. You can bet that ass that if his girlfriend did that to him, it would be a totally different situation. Nobody is telling me that he thinks it's okay for his girlfriend to go fuck another guy because he's out on the road. I don't think that would fly with Steven Stills and his ego at all. Yeah. But it's quite all right for him to have a row of groupies because he can't be with the one he loves. So he'll just pick up this 14-year-old.
Love the one.
Yeah. That's what love's all about. Love and peace. Free love, everybody. Free love.
Yeah.
I kind of like the song, but you're right. Who it's coming from.
And I don't believe it.
I never really thought of that. It's true.
I don't mind the do. That's fine, but the whole like concept and the lyrics, and then when you tie those to who is singing those lyrics, it's like, dude, you are full of shit, bullshit.
I like the Bucks Fizz version.
See, that's
I don't know who that is, but maybe they're a little more.
They were like a British pop band that nobody knows, that were like 70s and 80s that nobody knows unless you're me. So you're from the UK, but
I recently watched a documentary about Neil Young, and it was talking about the reason Neil Young didn't get along with Stephen Stills, and that they're two. One was an egomaniac and one was not. And even though Neil Young liked to collaborate musically with Stephen Stills, he was the primary reason why he couldn't get along with, he did all his recording with even Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young on his own. He did his own recording in his own studio, and then he brought it for them to use on an album. Mm-hmm. Because he couldn't deal with Stephen Stills.
I think a lot of people felt that way.
Yeah. All right, so those are our tops and bottoms of 1970 as we head almost into an hour. This is like movie length, hour and 42 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for watching. If you are still watching, thanks a lot. Coming up next time, we've got an album to review.
Well, I got to tell you the year.
Oh yeah, what year's next?
1980.
Oh wow,
1980. Okay.
We haven't done that.
We haven't done 80. No, remember that one guy pointed out several years that we didn't do. This was one of them. I think there's only 3 left that we haven't done, unless he finds more that we haven't done.
Yeah, it's up to him. Whatever. Craig should have remembered his name. How rude.
Norman. I think it's Norman.
Yeah, it's Norman.
Norman. Ooh. Wow. Norman.
That's Sue Thompson.
Norman, my love. Right? Isn't that this? Yeah. I feel that song was on one of my lists.
Let's see, 1980. That would be I can't think of a single album from 1980. 80 would be.
There's some good stuff.
I think of two. Right
I'm
now.
sure. Well, they're Double Fantasy. That's kind of not an awesome album, but it's an album. Like Joni Mitchell says, it's a cover.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Pat Benatar
it has Kiss Me Love on it.
So Pat Benatar had In the Heat of Crimes of Passion.
Wall of Voodoo was 1980.
There's a couple that came out in the US in 1980, but came out in the UK
79.
Oh my God! Pretenders debut. There's the album. There's my number one.
Yep.
There it is.
One too. London Calling is also the same way, I believe.
Yeah, London Calling's January of 80 in the US.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll discuss all those. We'll also review the album from Sunvolt called Trace.
I was listening to it the other day.
So yeah, that's going to be coming out for Black Friday as well on Record Store Day.
We'll be buying it.
Well, thank you so much for watching. We won't waste any more of your time. We are the
No.
Vinyl Community Guncles. I'm Robert Fitton, along with
Richard at Kelvin Wazoo.
Craig, Vinyl Plethora.
Mike at Hubtunes.
We'll talk to you again.
Bye-bye.
Only if you click on the video, though. Otherwise, we won't talk to you. It's really all in
No,
your,
yeah.
all in your
Do that.
hands.
You have to do that.